Welcome to our free webinar on free tools for social media. We're going to go and look at this whole concept of Facebook marketing, Twitter marketing, LinkedIn marketing, Pinterest marketing, fill-in-the-blank marketing on your social media networks. And we're going to share with you our favorite picks for sort of fun, innovative, interesting, helpful tools. And this is really our kickoff to our latest version of our social media toolbook, which has researched many of the tools. So we'll have that to share with you as well. So what we're doing, we're explaining social media marketing. As I teach our classes on social media, I do classes here in the Bay Area as well. I'm going to have a real exciting class at Stanford Continuing Studies in January. I make a big deal about this idea of social media marketing. So many of us may participate in social media. We may use Twitter. We may use Facebook. We may have used Yelp to find a restaurant, for instance. That's quite different than producing the content that's going to create that positive buzz for your company. I like to use the analogy of the difference between showing up at a party and throwing the party. So we're focusing on how to throw that awesome party on Twitter, on Facebook, on Yelp, on LinkedIn that's going to make you and your brand amazing. We're going to look at some tools. We'll do some hands-on step-by-step instruction. My personal vow, no boring PowerPoint. We will go and look at actual tools, and we're going to use our top picks for social media marketing. And being the world's cheapest man, we're going to look at free tools exclusively. And, of course, we're going to give you a copy of our toolbook. Kudos to Noelle. She did a lot of good research on this book. We worked real hard putting this book together. It's our latest edition, latest compilation of all the fun free tools out there for social media. This is the slide about me. If you've never taken a class from me before, I am the person crazy enough to go on YouTube, have webinars, and say, you know what, if you have a question, send the question to me. I will do my utmost to answer those questions. If you're taking this in video format, feel free to go to my personal website, give me a call, carrier pigeon, telepathy, however you get the question to me. I'll do my best to answer it. We're almost ready to begin. We're waiting for those last-minute stragglers. We know who you are. We're going to make a legal disclaimer here. Of course, we're going to make commentaries on websites all over the Internet. We're not really criticizing their products. Please don't sue us. Please don't redistribute this webinar. Of course, it's copyrighted. Please don't make us sue you. And, of course, take responsibility for your own social media marketing. You're all grown-ups, and, of course, you've got to take responsibility for what you do. We're just giving you tips, tricks, and all that fun stuff. What is our agenda? We're going to talk a little bit about social media and use this analogy of a party. As I teach classes, I always think it's really helpful to people to have a conceptual framework, a mental model. So I want you to start thinking about social media and what you're trying to accomplish. Then we're going to dive into some really cool tools. We're going to talk about how to get a free copy of the social media toolbook so you can download your own copy and dig in and choose the tools that you really find useful. And then we'll have time for our fun Q&A session. And, of course, ask those questions in the questions tab. And Noelle will cue those up for me. All right, so let's talk about this analogy, throwing a party, right? So attending a party is I show up, I drink your liquor, I have fun, I leave. Throwing the party is I've got to figure out what's my party theme, how do I get the invitations out there, how do I have a fun party? Think about things like, what do I do if people get out of control? You know, what's my policy for people who drink too much and are really obnoxious? That's really important in social media as well. What is your policy towards people who are really rude on your Facebook page? So attending the party is one thing. Attending, using Facebook is one thing. Throwing the party is very different, and we're going to look in strategically as we get started and we think about social media as a marketing tool. So I love to use these analogies. It makes it a little bit easier for people to understand. So if you were going to throw a party like a Christmas party or Hanukkah party or Kwanzaa party, whatever, birthday party, you got to do the first thing. You got to think about promotion. How are you going to get people to come? How are you going to get them excited? How are you going to convey to them, please show up at my party? So we're going to look at some tools. We're going to think conceptually about how to promote our Facebook page, our Twitter page, our Yelp account, etc. Those are your sort of invitations. Now, if you're going to throw a great party, you've got some organizational issues, right? How do you set it up? Do you have alcohol? Don't you have alcohol? Are you going to have a magician? Is Santa going to show up? All that fun stuff. We're going to look at some tools and tips that will also help you start to think about organization. The toolbook in particular has a lot of good links to the help files at Facebook, LinkedIn, Yelp, etc., so that you have tips and tools to really make a great Facebook page or a great LinkedIn page or a great Yelp listing. What else do you want your party? You want your party to be cool, right? You don't want a lame Facebook page. You don't want to get an award as the world's most boring LinkedIn profile. So there's sort of the coolness factor, the brand image that can work for you as a person. It can work for your company. We're going to start to think about that. One of the most important things about social media is word of mouth. We want to encourage people to spread. So think about your party. You have a great party. What do you want people to do? You want people to go on their mobile phone and say, oh my gosh, I'm having this party at Jason's. It's so crazy. Come and visit. So you want to share. You want people to share on Yelp, on Facebook, on YouTube. Look at my cool stuff. And so you want to encourage social sharing. That's part of building your great brand image and getting your word out there. And the great thing about social media is most of this can be done for free, with sweat equity. And then finally, we're marketers, right? We're cynical marketers trying to make money in this cold, hard, cruel world. We want to measure, are we succeeding? Is our Facebook page succeeding? Is our Yelp page succeeding? Is our Pinterest page succeeding? So we're going to look at some measurement tools. So I like to think about this like an analogy and then start to architect what are we trying to do with respect to our social media. Of course, in our class, we go into a lot more theory than that, but that's just a real quick way to think about social media. All right, so buckle those seatbelts. Now we're going to go and we're going to look at the tools. Now, again, don't worry. You're going to get the video. You'll get all the tools. We're going to send out the free tool book. You'll have all of these tools. We really just want to sort of tour you into social media and share some of our first and foremost, most favorite picks. Noelle and I worked really hard on this latest edition of the toolbook. So here are some of our favorites. So let's talk about sharing, right? We talked about word of mouth, getting your brand image out there, getting people to talk about you. So a lot of your social media is about sharing. We want people to share our content. Now, one of the best ways to be a good social media marketer is to look at what is being shared and to sort of hook in to that information as you build out your content. Okay, so these are the instructor links. You're going to get links as well. Let's look at Hashtagify Me as one of our favorite tools. So this is a really slick little cool tool. This is a Twitter tool. So what it's talking about is when you go to Twitter, I'll log into my Twitter account. And sort of heads up, I do subscribe to a lot of inappropriate humor on my personal, this is my personal Twitter. So we're interested in hashtags on Twitter. Let's see if we can find a hashtag in here. Oh, where's a hashtag? If not, we'll look one up. No hashtags. Okay, we'll look one up. So a hashtag on Twitter, let's put in organic. So hashtag organic, that's a way of looking through Twitter. These are all the people that are talking about organic. It's like tuning in on a radio. What are people talking about? And you want to look, what are they sharing? Look at this one. It's been retweeted 9 times. So Twitter, for instance, lots of sharing of content, blog content, pictures, etc. It's really interesting to know what people are sharing, what people are retweeting, that kind of stuff. Now, Hashtagify Me helps you find hashtags. So here's a hashtag slow food. What that means on Twitter is this is like zooming in, narrowing in, focusing in on the whole slow food movement. And let's say you produced some sort of organic food or something, you might want to chime in on this conversation. That's part of getting people to your party. So Hashtagify Me allows you to take that hashtag. So let's take the hashtag slow food and let's put it in Hashtagify Me. And this is such a slick little cool visual tool. So it takes the hashtag slow food and look what it does. It shows you related hashtags. So you can click over here on sort of the big hashtag food, and then it's going to redo that and show you other things that people are talking about on Twitter. Now, I love Twitter, right? Here's food porn. That's sort of like the vicarious, like we go watch the Iron Chef, and they show you how to make it, and then you're like, well, I'll just go eat it at the restaurant. Thank you very much. So this is a great little tool for finding hashtags. You can do that for any industry. Let's say you're not exactly sure. There must be something about, say, carbon offsets. So let's see if carbon offsets is showing up here. Twitter hashtags have no space open it, not enough volume. Let's go up a level and let's put in global warming. Okay, so let's say we sold carbon offsets. We start to think and research, what are people talking about? This can give us those interrelated conversations. Oh, look, there's a whole conversation on renewables. Oh, here's what they're talking about. Climate. Click on climate and you'll see climate change. So as you're Twitter marketing, you're going to be creating a list of hashtags, invitations to your party, ways to get people to show up. And what else does this really slick, totally free tool? How awesome is that? You can save money for your holiday gifts, free tool, and it shows you the top tweets. So is this not a totally awesome, cool tool? Hashtagify me makes our list. I think it's really one of the absolutely coolest new tools that we found. Now, it's not just about Twitter, is it? It's also about video. So I'm a big YouTuber. I love YouTube. YouTube is probably our #1 social channel because people go to YouTube and they want to learn things. They want to learn how to use the Google Keyword Planner. They want to learn how to use Google Analytics, and we produce videos on YouTube that talk about those topics. So YouTube marketing, video marketing is huge. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could zero in and see what videos are being shared across a particular keyword set? So you can do this through viral video chart. So let's just stick with some of these. Let's stick with, say, marketing global warming. So let's go over here and let's just put in global warming. And let's see if there's any videos that are being shared on global warming. Let's say we're a nonprofit and we're trying to promote things on global warming. So you can go in here. Now there's a little noise here. I don't know why Charles Manson is showing up #1, but you can look down here. Discovery Channel global warming, 5,300 shares. Big Fish, 5,000 shares. Christian groups are telling us the end of the world is upon us. Meet the Facts with MEAT, haha. This is a way to zero in what is being shared. You can click on any one of these videos. It's going to load the video for you, and it's going to usually put it on YouTube, and you can sort of zero into it. So what I like about this tool, if you're into YouTube, if you're into video, is you can go and put a query into the tool, put organic, put whatever those keywords are. That's where your hashtags can come in. And you can see Michelle Obama talking about her whole everybody have a garden sort of thing is the #1. Look down here, somebody's fallen into a lava lake. A little bit of noise, but I think the noise is interesting on YouTube. And here's sunflower seeds and agave moments. Here's Alex, he's some data, and he's obviously doing something on organic. So you can take this Unruly tool, drill into videos, see what videos are being shared. Just like if you were having a party, you'd want to know what parties are the people picking up those mobile phones and saying, hey, come over, this is the cool party. This is the party I want everyone to go to. That's another tool for sharing. Third tool for sharing, Topsy. Topsy was just bought by Apple. Topsy is one of these companies. There's probably two, 19-year-olds now that are like gazillionaires, and they're owners of Topsy because it was purchased by Apple. I'm not sure what the purchase price was. So Topsy is a social media search engine. And what I like about Topsy is it searches links and tweets. Again, you're going to have to know a little bit about your keywords. We'll look in a second on keyword themes. Whatever you're doing, put into Topsy and get some ideas in here. So let's put in, gosh, what I need, which is like an herbal cure for the cold. So let's put in cure for cold or cure for the cold. I always feel like having a conversation with the cold virus, like, okay, I'm going to win. Okay, so people are totally inappropriate. It is social media. They're talking about sex and the cold. But you can go and drill down to more appropriate things. And so this guy has 12 shares talking about Beyonce. The other thing you can do that I really like about this tool is you can click on links. This is where your blogging comes in, your SEO. You can look at what concept, what stuff is being shared across the blogosphere through particularly Twitter as a link sharing device. Then you can then think through what kind of content you should create that will leverage the big, kahuna of social media, which is your sharing factor. So let's say you did organic food, organic baby food. You're going to put in organic food. You're going to look at your links. You're going to see what's being shared. You're going to be able to go and look at stuff and see this, very angry person here, because guess what? Organic food is expensive, is being heavily shared. So Topsy is yet another way to penetrate into sharing. So those first 3 tools are all about sharing. #IfyMe on Twitter, Viral Video Chart on YouTube, Topsy, sort of a Twitter blog synergy. What you're trying to understand is what gets shared, why it gets shared, reverse engineer it for your own social media channels, and create awesome content. Just like if you were doing a party, you would go visit other people's parties and sort of reverse engineer, why is their party so awesome and what can you do to implement it? All right, let's talk about buzz, right? Jesus Christ Superstar, what's the buzz? Tell me what's happening, right? That's, I think, out on video now. Carrie Underwood is going to come back probably as one of the characters next year. So what's the buzz? We want to know what people are talking about, and we want to look for keyword themes. This is really important in our classes on SEO, search engine optimization. It's very important on social media. We want to know what people are talking about because we want to leverage that conversation for our Twitter, for our Facebook, for our LinkedIn. There are some good tools that will help us get into those keyword themes. So one of my favorites is the Google Global Market Finder. Google Global Market Finder, it also doubles as a tongue twister. Say that 30 times fast. Google Global Market Finder. So you're going to put your keywords into the Google Global Market Finder. Maybe they should call it the GGMF for short. So again, what are you going to put in here? Something that you're interested in. Herbal remedies. Let's say you're a retailer of herbal remedies. You're going to put the CAPTCHA in, and you're going to hope that Google's going to accept that CAPTCHA and send you a $2 prize. Okay, it doesn't like this one. Let's go back up here and let's put in herbal. So sometimes you have to find something that there's enough traffic. Oh, behave, Google. Let's try organic. Sometimes this tool breaks. Let's hope it's not broken right this second. Hey, it's working. Okay, so you got to find a keyword that there's enough traffic about. Click on United States. Click on English. Click on Show Additional Keywords. And this is driven by Google search. So this is Google, world's best search engine, right? World's sort of lamest social network, or Google+, but best search engine, and they're able to tell you what are people searching Google. Guess what? What people are searching Google is a good clue what they're talking about. So you put your keyword up here at the top, in this case organic. You can drill down and you can see there's 12,000 searches for organic food, organic milk, organic gardening, horizon gardening, organic chicken, organic eggs. So you're able to see where are the conversations, put those back in #IfyMe, do some other research, find out what you should produce, blog posts, videos, Instagram photos, etc., and leverage that conversation. And you can do this, pretty much for any keyword. It does not work for real low volume. So what are my suggestions here? Let's put in car insurance. So again, sort of a more boring thing. Let's say you sold car insurance. Put car insurance into the tool. Find opportunity. For those of you that are overseas, you can change your location up here, or you can just drill down. You can see United States, UK. It looks like a lot of people in the UK are interested in car insurance. Let's click what are they talking about in the UK, and let's see. Cheap car insurance quotes. So this is, again, an SEO tool, but useful for social media. Google Global Market Finder. Okay, so we're staying on this theme of digging in. Let's look at Bing Social. This tool, they've kind of made it not as good as it used to be, unfortunately. It used to be very real time. Go to bing.com/social, put in your keyword organic. It's going to show you what's being tweeted, what's on Facebook, stuff like that. Now this is a link. I'm logged into Facebook, so you can see from your Facebook friends what they're sharing. So Bing Social is a search engine that looks at Twitter and Facebook, especially if you log into Facebook. You'll see over here I'm logged into my Facebook account, and it gives you some insight across Facebook, Twitter, and blogs. What are people talking about? All of this is trying to leverage themes, because so much of social media is, talk about what people want to talk about, and therefore you'll get them to come to your Facebook page, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, etc. So Bing Social, kind of interesting. Let me show you a little trick on Google that I love to do. Everybody who's taken any of my classes anywhere, site colon. So let's say we're car insurance. Let's say we're DUI insurance. Site colon, twitter.com, DUI, driving under the influence. you can go and you can see where are pages on Twitter. Let's go over here to search tools, anytime, past month. Let's see who's doing stuff on Twitter about DUI. Now you can use this to do what? You can check out other people's Twitter feeds and see if you like the Twitter feeds. You can do that kind of checking, or you can look for posts. Google search is really good for finding Twitter accounts, finding Facebook pages. So site:facebook.com, gift ideas. What are the Facebook pages that are talking about gift ideas? Go to your search tools, past month to find fresh content past 24 hours. Look and see what are people putting on Facebook using your Google search. Why is this important to your social media marketing? Because you're trying to attract people to your Facebook page, so wouldn't it be awesome if you could use Google to search Facebook, to search Twitter, to search LinkedIn, to find content that other people are sharing to get ideas. I am a good writer. Avoid writer's block. One of the ways to avoid writer's block is go look at what other people are writing, get ideas from those other people, and then use those ideas as a springboard for your own marketing strategy. The tip here is no space between the site : and the social media that you're doing. Site : Pinterest.com, gift ideas. Google, world's best search engine, excellent way to penetrate and look for keyword themes. This is part of promoting, attaching to themes. Guess what? You do much better on social media if you talk about things that other people want to talk about, right? Social media is not a prison. They can leave. They don't have to stay on your Facebook page, so you're going to have to educate your CEO. No, we cannot put our boring, address on our profitability, but we can put some fun stuff. So social media, not a prison, but a party. You got to look at what people want to talk about. Let's talk a little bit about blogs and the there. So when I teach classes on social media, I really make this emphasis on the there. So Gertrude Stein, very famous author, one of my favorite authors, autobiography of Alice B. Toklas and all that sort of thing. She grew up in Oakland. She was born in Oakland, and then she moved to Paris, right? So she has this quip, there's no there in Oakland. And Oakland, of course, lives in the shadow of one of the greatest cities in the world, San Francisco, has a little bit of a chip on its shoulder. So the there is something to latch on to. So actually there's a park in Oakland with signs that say there, and here, and all this kind of stuff to sort of make fun of this idea, because Oakland is really a wonderful community. There's a lot of really fun, cool stuff in Oakland. The point that we're making in social media is you need to have stuff to share. So I always use a little quip here. The there is what you share. For most of us, that's going to be a blog post. We're going to share our blog post on Twitter. We're going to share our blog post on LinkedIn. Or it's going to be an Instagram, it's going to be a picture, or it's going to be a YouTube video. So it's really important to be able to have some tools to help you with blogging, with better blogging, because the blogging is often the collateral that you're going to share on your page. So for instance, let's just pop over to LinkedIn. And I know I'm going really fast. I've had too much caffeine this morning. You're going to get the video. Don't worry. This is just sort of your lightning tour of social media with some ideas. So I'm on my LinkedIn feed, and you can see here, people are sharing things like articles, right? That's the there. Living Language is sharing World Hello and infographic. So as a social media marketer, you've got to think about your content marketing strategy. You've got to write blog posts. You've got to write create infographics. You got to create pictures. You got to create stuff that you can then share. Just like if you're going to have a party, right? You can't have a party with no food. You can't have a party with no drinks. You can't have a party without any entertainment. You got to have something there rather than an empty room. That's a really boring party. So you've got to think through your content marketing, your collateral. Now, blogs are one of the best places to look for content ideas. So again, I don't like writer's block. Right? A mí no me gusta writer's block. I want to look at what other people are doing and use their ideas. So IceRocket is a great blog search engine. Great blog search engine. So let's say, gosh, we produce baby food. Let's put baby food into IceRocket, and it's going to give us blog posts past month on baby food, and then you're able to go in and look and see what are people blogging out that has the words baby and food in it. And let's try baby food with quotes. Quote, baby food, quote. Okay, and let's look and go see in here if we get some good stuff. So you're going to go and look. Okay, so here you go. So these people are writing a blog about broccoli, pears, and these are these new pouches. I think they're kind of creepy, but people are using these pouches to feed their kids really healthy stuff. Okay, so that's not a great blog post per se, but it shows you what, kind of what's an idea. Look at the pictures, look at the idea of it. So Ice Rocket is a way to do blog searches to look for blog content that you can imitate, you could share yourself. You could do all sorts of wonderful things with blog content. You can imitate it, you can share it yourself, you can reach out to those bloggers, you can solicit guest blog posts, you can do all sorts of fun things. Ice Rocket, really awesome blog search engine. Okay, what's another way to search? Google blog search. So Google has a blog search engine that's sort of competitive. Same idea. You put in here industrial fans. Maybe you're a B2B maker. And who thought, right? You never thought people write on industrial fans. Oh, yes, they do. So this guy here has written a critical review of stall control techniques in industrial fans. It's a very academic article, isn't it? But if you're in the industrial industry, that might be something of interest. So you're going to go to Google Blog Search. You're going to put your keywords in here. These are the things that people are talking about on your social media. You're going to look for bloggers. You can go to Search Tools, Posts, Anytime, Past Week. You can look at what's going on about the blogosphere for whatever your keywords are. So Google Blog Search, useful to feed into your own blogging strategy. Now, you've written a blog, you've got a blog idea, and I hate writer's block. You don't want writer's block. It's no bueno. So then you want to think, what's a catchy title for my blog? How do I create a catchy, fun title, right? So this is a ad agency, I believe, and they had, I just love it when people come with these great ideas. This is a little title generator. So let's put in industrial fans. Let's say we're in a super boring industry. We're going to put industrial fans. We're going to hit go, and then look what it does. It generates blog titles for you that are what? Catchy, fun. Social media is not a prison. You've got to attract people with fun, informative, interesting, shocking, controversial. Look at this headline, 16 things about industrial fans your teachers wouldn't tell you, right? If you don't like that one, click the refresh. Why the next 10 years of industrial fans will smash the last 10. How industrial fans could get you blacklisted. Provocative, fun, crazy, interesting ideas. You can do that for anything that you're interested in. You can put that into this tool. Hey, hold on here. I clicked too far. Let's go back here. You can go and look at this tool, put in whatever you're doing. You're doing organic baby food? Awesome. Babies need organic food. Organic baby food. Organic food, baby food by the numbers. Blog idea. How much organic food is sold in the United States? How much organic food does a baby food eat in a day? So it's a great idea generator as well as a title generator, totally free. Portent's content, all the things are tongue twisters today. Portent's content idea generator. Awesome for blogging. Look at the shareability of this. 1,000 tweets, 1,000 Google Pluses, 140 shares on LinkedIn, 1.6 thousand likes on Facebook. So this in and of itself is a there that people are sharing across social media because it is so fun and useful. Let's talk about something else. So let's totally switch over to something so practical. So many businesses are local. Your local pizza joint, your local marriage counselor, your local attorney, your local grocery store. So on social media, don't forget, social media isn't just Facebook. It's not just Twitter. It's also Yelp. It's also Google Local. It's also review marketing. And you want to be able, especially in local, to claim and optimize all of those local listings. So there are some searches that'll help you find your local listings and claim them. So let me show you a couple. So I'm going to take Elmer's Barbecue. We just ate there over the break in Tulsa. So it's a barbecue joint in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So let's just use them as an example. So you're going to go to getlisted.org. You're going to put your business in here. You're going to put your zip code in here, 74105. I love barbecue, by the way. We're going to hit check my listing. So let's say we worked at Elmer's Barbecue. They're on Peoria. They're in Tulsa. And for a barbecue joint, right, local listings, local reviews are incredibly important. People find you through Yelp, through local search, through Google Places. So look what this does. It goes and tells you all your listings, and you can click on each one, and you can instantly find, hey, Elmer, this is your listing, needs to be claimed. So this little guy here, for your local businesses, for free, will go and find out if you have a listing and help you claim that listing. Is that not awesome? Talk about a huge time saver. Find your listing, claim your listing, off you go. So all you have to do is put your name, your business name, your client's business name, and their zip code, find their listing, check the listings. How awesome is that? Totally free. Getlisted.org. It's owned by the Smarty Pants at Moz, which is an SEO company up in Seattle. Really, really awesome. Similar idea is Yext. So Yext is a similar idea. So let's take another one. We'll take Suju's Coffee and Tea here in Fremont. Okay, so let's put them into Yext. So I'm going to put the business name in here. Okay, and let's take out the zip code. And I'm going to put the business phone. Now Yext, of course, is a paid service, so they're probably going to call. So I'm going to put the phone number in here. And I'm just going to have fun with it. I'm going to put do not call me as the name because I don't want to get a call. And I'm going to hit scan now. So Yext, pretty good paid service. They do a similar thing as the other guy. They're going to analyze all of your listings. And you're going to be able to go down and find your listings across local sites. And they're trying to sell you on using the Yext service. It's a pretty good service actually for free, for paid. But you can use it for free to find your listings. So these tools are local listing, find it and fix it tools for free. Yext and Get Listed, really awesome for your local clients. Pizza, attorneys, marriage counselor, plumber, anybody that depends on local business, especially review marketing. Of course, we have a whole class on local and review because it's so important to so many people across social media. All right, so let's talk about contact clout, right? So when you're having a party, right, what's the best way to have an awesome party is have really famous people show up. I just watched this movie, Exit Through the Gift Shop, a really fun movie, and it's about an artist named Banksy and this other guy called Mr. Brainwash, and they have a party in LA. They have an opening for their art, and one of the things that they do is they get famous people to show up like Brad Pitt. So somebody famous shows up at your opening, well, guess what? That's really important to bringing other people in to your party. Same idea in social media. We want to get connected to important people. We want to know who's important. We want to know who has clout, who has followers, who's important. So I'm going to share some tools where you can kind of reverse engineer or find people who are famous, who are important. So let's look at wefollow.com. Now this is a Twitter tool. A lot of your coolest tools are Twitter tools. So you're going to go and you're going to, again, know those keywords. Let's take embedded for embedded systems. This is something we've done work on. It's electronic design. So let's put embedded and just hit search. It's going to find the most important people in the embedded systems. This is a niche. These are the products that go in your anti-lock braking system, your home entertainment system, your nuclear warhead, your jet airplane. This is all the software, hardware that makes all the intelligence and all the devices that we use in modern life. So Patrick Hopper, who's a friend of mine, he's the most influential person in embedded systems. He's got a score of 100. Guess what you can then do? You can check him out. You can see his score. You can find Pat on Twitter. You can follow him on Twitter. You can reach out to him. He's sort of the guru of embedded systems, very important person to hook up with if you're trying to promote your embedded systems product or service. So WeFollow is a way to find the most important people in an industry, and that's not just embedded. It's, whatever, and it helps you with those hashtags. Let's say you're selling organic gardening products. You can find out who are the most important people on Twitter. I like this better than the Clout Score, actually, on Twitter. You can go in and you can say, okay, Teresa Lowe, she's got a score of 100. This is the person that you want to be nice to if you're in organic, because she is, the co-producer of Growing and Greener. What else can you do here? You can reach out through her Twitter. You can also usually see that most people will have a link to their websites. You now have a way to research and find the most important people in an industry and contact them. Isn't that awesome? So you can find the most important people. These are the Brad Pitts of your industry that you're going to get it to, invite to Twitter, get a conversation with, hook up on Facebook, etc. So WeFollow, excellent tool for finding important people based on sort of those keyword themes that people are talking about and training in social media. Again, back to that party analogy, always, always, always. You're trying to throw an awesome party. If you get the movers and shakers to endorse your party, show up at your party, participate in your party, share your party, guess what, Virginia? You'll have a successful party. You got to get the movers and shakers. Now, another tool I really like is Rapportive or Rapportive. I don't know how to say it. It's either Rapportive or Rapportive. This tool is a little reverse engineering tool. If it would load, hello, what is your website? So this tool is a tool that really works with Gmail. What I love about this tool, it's crazy once you enable this tool on your Gmail, because you can put any email person in and it's going to find all their social information. And you can sort of start to connect with people who are emailing you. So I've drunk the Google Kool-Aid. I use Gmail 24/7. And let me show you in my Gmail account. So I'll show you some examples of how this works inside of Gmail. So I'm going to load my Gmail, and I'm just going to put my brother's name in here, Paul Commuter. So that's his email. Now, as he's sending me emails back and forth, right, so I was doing some testing on his website the other day, and he says, hey, I gave you a heart attack because I sent him 5 inquiries just testing. So look what this tool does, is you're emailing somebody inside of Gmail. It looks them up on LinkedIn, on Google+, on Twitter, and it gives you information about that person. So as you're emailing people, you're able to find them on LinkedIn, find them on Google+, find them on Twitter, find out a little bit about that person, and you can, cynical marketer here, you can start to reach out to them, not reach out to them. You can know how important they are, know how not important they are. So I really recommend enabling Rapportive in your Gmail, and then that little tool will look those people up, and if you're not connected, you have an instant way to click over and connect to those people. It's a really slick, free tool that makes Gmail even more frightening than you already thought about, guess what, there's no privacy anymore. You can look anybody up. So WeFollow, Rapportive, those are tools to help with social influence. Who are the most important people? Who are the famous people? Who are the connected people, industry by industry? Okay, so social media, here's the good news. Social media is free. Yay, it's free. Okay, what's the bad news? Social media takes a ton of work. Takes a lot of work to create the collateral, to create the content, create the blog posts, create the YouTube videos, create the Instagrams, and share them. So you need some tools to manage them. Just like if you were running a party, you would need some tools to manage your party, right? It would be awesome. If you're having a big party, you need some help, right? You need some management. So here's my favorite platform for management. Now, there are some other platforms in the workbook or the toolbook, but this is my favorite. So it's Hootsuite. So there was a platform called TweetDeck, which was very competitive. TweetDeck got acquired by Twitter, and they totally screwed it up. So unfortunately, the kiss of death is usually when you're acquired by some company. They totally usually foul you up. Hootsuite is still independent. This is a dashboard in which you can attach your Facebook, your Twitter, your Google Plus page, your LinkedIn page, and you can create a post, a message, You can decide what you're going to share it on, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, etc. Me personally, the company. You can give this login to an employee. You can schedule your tweets. You can schedule your posts on LinkedIn. So you can look really busy, but you're actually on vacation in Mexico, and you've pre-posted everything across your social media. It has a free version. It has a paid version. Free version is free. The paid version is really cheap. We have the paid version. I think it's like $10 a month. You can go on anybody that's talking about you. You can click. It's going to give them your clout score. You can also see how important they are. You can go over to scheduling. You can schedule. We schedule our tweets through here, so we sign up and do it at certain times and schedule it. So Hootsuite is a management platform for you as a social media marketer to attach your company's Facebook, Twitter, Google+, etc., and then you can manage all of the stuff inside of Hootsuite, and you can really manage your platform, your posting, etc. Makes your life easier in many, 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 many ways. Really awesome free management tool. There's other management tools out there. This is my particular favorite. Let's talk about monitoring. So you're going to have a party. You're going to have a Facebook page. You're going to have a LinkedIn page. You want to monitor that for success. You want to monitor, is it successful? How are we doing? How are we doing? You also want to monitor the buzz across social media. You want to monitor the buzz across social media. What is being said about me? What is being said about my company? What is being said about my theme? So I'm going to share with you a couple tools that will help you with that aspect. Okay, so let's look at Addictomatic. Addictomatic is a tool that allows you to put one of your topics that you're interested in and create an instant clickable, searchable dashboard of what people are saying. So let's just stick with, say, global warming. Let's put in global warming. Hit create. It's going to create a dashboard, and you can see all the cool stuff on Bing. It doesn't do Twitter. Twitter's having issues with it. WordPress, FriendFeed, YouTube, Flickr, Bing News, Google News, Ask News. So this is a tool. Now you could do that for your company. Let's say you worked for Geico. You can do a search for Geico, and you can see what is being shared and talked about across Geico. You can bookmark this. You can send it to your team, and you have an instant dashboard for your themes, your topics, your company. So this is a way to sort of monitor the buzz across social media. It's a pretty good little tool. It has some issues with Twitter. I think they're going to fix that. That's gone down recently. We have a tool which is sort of a similar, very low budget idea. Same idea. You can put your keyword in here, organic food, whatever your tool is, hypnosis, hypnotherapy, industrial fans, whatever you're selling. And then we've built out the searches for you. This is Google search past 24 hours. This is Google search past month. We've made it really easy for you. You can look at your blog search, Google blog search. And again, you can bookmark this as a link. You can look at your Twitter. You can look at your social media. So this is really leveraging Google to monitor. And we have a one-click link to Google Alerts. You can create a Google alert for your keyword topic, get Google Alerts on it. So our tool, Addictomatic tools, are ways to bookmark and share and save searches for particular topics. That's part of monitoring. There's all sorts of other monitoring tools. I wanted to share some of the tools that I think are a little bit of out-of-the-box different in terms of sharing. So let's sort of review what we've learned in terms of tools. So sharing is caring, right? You've got to know what people share, what's getting shared, what is getting viral, what is getting posted and cross-posted. These are some tools to help you with that. Social media, you've got to know your themes. You have to know, what do people talk about. Google search is a really good way to find out what's popular, and then weave those themes into things like blog posts and YouTube videos to increase your shareability, to increase your findability, etc. Blogging is probably the anchor of much social media. hey, check out my awesome blog posts. I'm going to post that to Twitter. You got to become a better blog writer. You got to know what people are blogging about. You got to know how to find good blog posts. You got to know how to reach out to the blogosphere. So we have some tools to help you find really awesome blogs. Local reviews, review marketing is so important across so many domains. You want to claim, manage, find those local listings for your business. Clout, you've got to find who's the most important person. Because by having Brad Pitt come to your party, you're going to get a lot more people. So you've got to find who's important in your niche. Reach out to those people, schmooze those people, bribe those people, do whatever you need to do to get those people to come to you, come to your party. And then you have some management issues. We're all too busy. I know that it's so hard these days. We're so busy. There goes my mobile phone buzzing in the background. We're going to use a platform like Hootsuite to manage our social media. Okay? Oh, please stop, mobile phone. There we go. And finally, we want to monitor the buzz day in and day out so we can stay on top of the buzz about our brand and the buzz about our particular industry. So this is sort of a quick lightning tour of some really nifty ways to sort of stay hip, stay happening with respect to social media. All right, so your to-dos of social media. First to-do. Use a conceptual model of social media. There's so many people that they're twittering and tweeting with no purpose. They have a Facebook page for their business. It has no purpose. It has no conceptual model. So when I teach classes on social media, when I do workshops and consulting, we create a plan. We create a conceptual model. What are we trying to do? I like to think of social media as a party and not a prison. And I'm going to invite people, get people excited, bring people in by creating fun, interesting content that they're motivated by. You want to create a strategy for success, a macro social media plan, a micro social media plan. You want to look at and identify powerful free tools, right? There are some wonderful paid tools for social media, but don't tell anybody. Generally speaking, you can do just as well with free tools. I believe if you have a great mental model, if you have a good strategy, you really don't need the paid tools. The tools don't solve the problem. The tools are just tools. So remember, a tool only gets you so far. It only gets you so far. You've got to know what it's good for. You've got to have that conceptual model, and then you're going to leverage it. Finally, have fun. This is the funnest part of marketing. Right? I do SEO, I do AdWords, right? AdWords, that's a prison, right? That is difficult. Hey, right? Social media is super fun. So SEO is sort of in the middle. So remember, this is really fun. Have fun with it. Make it fun. That's going to help engage your audience and help you be successful. All right, so now we have time for some questions. Just a couple heads up. Here is your top secret password to get the toolbook. So we're selling the toolbook, but hey, if you've listened this long, thank you. And you need to have that extra bonus. So that's your password there. And then we have a super discount. We're going to be starting our final social media workshop of the year. It's going to start next Wednesday, and I've got the tool there. Let me show you how these work. SMM 2014. So you're going to go to our website. You're going to click on course login. You're going to click on special codes. You're going to put your email in here. You're going to put the password, SMM2014. So you're going to put in here SMM2014. You're going to hit login. That's going to download the PDF of the toolbook. You're going to open up this toolbook, and you're going to say, oh my goodness, Christmas came early. Because look at all these fabulous tools for LinkedIn, for YouTube, for viral videos, for blogging. And we've organized all these amazing free tools. You can go check these tools out. There's hundreds of really cool free tools. They're all over Creation. We've consolidated them into one toolbook for you. You're going to get that free toolbook by using that passcode. Now, the second thing you're going to do, hopefully, is you're going to go get your boss and you're going to say, let's take a class. Let's build a strategy on our social media. And there's a special discount. It's actually 25% off. And you're going to go here and you're going to put in SMM discount, log in, and that's going to get you to a special 25% off super duper discount on the 3 classes that we're teaching in social media. All right, so now we have time for discussion. We maybe have 20 minutes or so of discussion and Q&A, depending on how lively you guys are, and Noelle will cue those questions up for me.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Let's see, we do have a lot of questions. Can you mention the reasons why social media is so important with the new Google Hummingbird
update
algorithm? Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Just learning about this change.
Right. Okay, so let's sort of flip over and let's talk a little bit about Google+, which I didn't put any awesome tools for Google+ in here, although I have them in the toolbook. So Hummingbird is getting to the main thing with Hummingbird, it's getting to this issue of sort of semantic search, is how people search. People are sort of, kind of with Siri and that sort of concept, people are talking to Google, right? They're using it on a mobile phone. You can actually enable your audio on your computer, and also people are typing. They're just generally just typing questions. So people will type a question into Google. How do I get my picture on Google search, right? So that is a natural search query. Google is trying to help you by showing content that relates to that. So it's not just Google authorship, which is sort of the correct keyword here. It's sort of, how do I do something? How do I get my picture on Google search? How is a big one? How do I use the keyword planner, right? So people do searches. How do I use the new keyword planner? I don't even spell correctly anymore, Google. I just type. And you can see here, here's a YouTube video by us. Now this is where your social media comes in. This YouTube video by me, right? I'm going to freeze myself there. Now at an SEO/social level, you got to get your good title together. You got to spit back at Google the right keywords. You got to get your view count up. You got to get your thumbs up count. That's why this video shows on the top of Google search. It's got good optimization at a social level. Now look at another search, SEO classes, right? So I'm going to show at the top of that search. One of the reasons is I have 2,500 followers on Google+. So it's no longer true that your SEO is in one bucket and your social media is in another bucket. You've got to get your SEO and your social media to work together, and that's really your Google+. And Hummingbird is sort of part of natural search, semantic search, and also this social search in which Google and Bing are paying attention to social signals like sharing, like credibility, and that's getting you to the top. So it's sort of the trend is towards the integration of social media and SEO, and you want to be ahead of the curve to be really good at marketing.
Okay. This person says, I'm announcing a new business. What is the best strategy for announcing it online? They're going from one career to another and might shock some folks.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So again, in terms of social media, I always do an inventory, right? So different businesses have different profiles. So just to announce a business, there's no general rule what's the best. So let's take examples, right? So let's say I'm announcing a new pizza business, right? So think about how people discover pizza, right? They go to Google. You've got to show up on the top of pizza searches for Google, right? So, you've got to show on a search for pizza. Let me see if I can get the carousel to show. So pizza is, how do people find pizza, right? They do a Google search. They look at the carousel. They go to Yelp. They do a Yelp search. What's a good pizza joint? Now, what else might they do? They might go to Facebook, and let's say they're having a birthday party. They might post on Facebook, hey, I'm having a birthday party, or I'm planning a birthday party for my kid. Do you guys know any awesome places to have a birthday party? Or flip that around. I just had a birthday party with my kid, and they took a picture, and it's on their Instagram, and look how awesome it is. Now, that's a very different business. That's a very different business than, a DUI attorney, right? DUI attorney, oh my gosh, my husband, wife has just been arrested. What do? We go to Google, we find DUI attorney. We don't exactly go to Facebook and say, hey, my wife or husband just got arrested for DUI. You guys know any good DUI attorneys? And here's a picture of me getting my husband out of jail, and I'm going to Instagram it, right? It's going to vary based on your business. So when I teach social media, when I work with somebody, I do an inventory of the whole universe: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. What are the venues that are really going to help, and what are the venues that are not going to help? And then figure out, that's your question, how do you announce it? It's going to vary based on what you do. Social media is not a prison, it's a party. Figure out where the people are hanging out and talk to them in the venue that's the most appropriate, and realize some things are great on Twitter, some things are terrible on Twitter, some things are good on Facebook, some things are terrible on Facebook. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. You've got to do a little research, you've got to do a little thinking.
Okay, let's see. Does Yahoo and Bing have the equivalent to Google Alerts in their searches? They'd like to be alerted in these search engines also.
I don't believe they do. So I don't think there's a service. Now, what you can do if you care about Yahoo or Bing, let's say you go to Bing and, let's say you're organic food or something. So you do a search for, organic food for babies. Here's a sort of a trick that I would say. You've got this horrible URL string, right? And that's your sort of can search organic food for babies. And let's say you want to look at organic food for babies, new stuff that Bing has found in the past week. Take that horrendously horrible URL, Control-C. Okay, I have signed up for Bitly, right? So sign up for a Bitly account. Let me sign up to Bitly. I'm going to sign into Bitly. Bitly is a URL shortener that's very useful for all sorts of things, including social media. So now I've copied this horrendous URL for Bing, which is a search for organic food for babies past week. I can then put that into a Bitly link. I can save that, and now I can do what? I can create a web page. I can send out an email to my team and say, hey, every week, check that little link there. So that's sort of a workaround for their lack of Google Alerts. If somebody knows if they have an alert system, I do not believe they do have an alert system. So I use a lot of my Bitly searches to create key-on searches for things like Yelp, Bing, etc., and then we can check those on a weekly basis. So let me show you. I have a dashboard for our Sales by Bit. I have a nice little tools like Free SEO tool, and I can click on that and I can see the newest. This is one way we find tools. And I can see here's blog posts on Free SEO tools. I've got a canned search on my dashboard built. So that's how I would do it, is build canned searches, use Bitly to shorten the links, have a little email you send to your team once a week, and they could click on that link and they could find Yahoo, Bing searches that are keyword relevant for you.
Okay, let's see. This person says they manage a site for a personal trainer that is hosted on WordPress. The site is set up as a blog-based site, so the main page content is constantly being updated. Is it better to have a static homepage with a separate blog page, or is it okay to have your blog as your homepage?
Yeah, so I would say generally if, personal trainer, again, think about how people are going to find a personal trainer. Think about the different paths. So, one path is just, I'm going to go to Bing, I'm going to go Google, I'm going to put in, personal fitness trainers, San Jose. That's a search path. That really has a lot of SEO in it. So to succeed at that, you need pretty much a static, stable page. Now, WordPress allows you to have a stable page and then also post. So for instance, I'll show you a client that we've done a lot of work with. This is a super wonderful tax attorney or tax CPA. Tax CPA, San Francisco. San Francisco is the world's hardest city to spell. Here, his website, page 1 for that search, of course, because we know our SEO. So this site is built through WordPress. It has a stable page and then also has blog posts. So from kind of what you said, personal trainer, I would say have a stable page. You can do that in WordPress and then rotate your blog posts on that home page so you have the best of both worlds. You have some good blogging. You have a good, nice, stable page. In this case, we're optimizing for things like tax CPA and that kind of stuff.
Okay, I have been charged with building our brand through LinkedIn, and I need some tips on how to do this. We're a B2B magazine for small retailers. Can you give us some info on tools for LinkedIn, the best way to go about that?
Right. So again, in the workbook, so in the toolbook that you're going to get, I keep calling it workbook because we renamed it. In the toolbook, okay, so let's go over here. So you're going to log in and get the toolbook. Go down in the toolbook to the LinkedIn section, and in LinkedIn, we have a link to the LinkedIn Learning site. We've talked about Reportive. There's a link to LinkedIn Business. LinkedIn does not have nearly as many cool tools as the other guys do. So I have some of the better sites, some of the plugins, etc. Now let's talk just for a second conceptually about LinkedIn. Okay, so in the classes on social media, we go through the different sorts of networks and where the opportunities are. LinkedIn has sort of three big opportunities to sort of outline the opportunities. First opportunity is what I call your personal resume. So somebody does a search, Jason McDonald SEO, you want to get your LinkedIn profile to be very visible across the internet, very public. That's your personal profile on LinkedIn. That's the first opportunity. And if you're working for a company, you want to get the employees to have robust LinkedIn profiles and reach out and build connections. LinkedIn is very much a personal networking site. That's probably the big opportunity. Second opportunity is to be able, by building your connections, let's say I want to connect to people in proteomics. I did a training on this a few years back. It's super esoteric stuff. I can do a search on proteomics. I can find people that I'm connected to. This is your connection based on LinkedIn. I can look at my second degree connections. When I teach LinkedIn, I say you grow your first degree connections to get to your second degree connections. So this is the connection growing part of LinkedIn, the ability to do research by a keyword on LinkedIn, the ability to reach out directly to your first level connections, and through introductions to your second level connections. That's the second opportunity on LinkedIn. When I teach social media and I work with people in social media, I am a believer in focus. So much of the social media industry is just this blur of, it's like a William Faulkner stream of consciousness blogosphere nightmare. It's too much information. You want to settle down and focus. What are the opportunities? And then build the opportunity that is sort of logical. This is the second big opportunity on LinkedIn, is networking through your first to get to your second, having keywords and knowing what you want to talk about. And then the third opportunity, which LinkedIn is doing better and better at, is sort of, LinkedIn is kind of the Facebook for boring companies. So your fun companies, your REIs and your Whole Foods, like, they're on Facebook, and your B2B companies, which are more serious, are on LinkedIn. That's where you as a company, you as an individual, you share updates. People are logging into LinkedIn when they're in the mode of, I'm serious, I'm learning, I'm in my business mode, and you want to build a good company page. So I'll show you over here. I follow some companies that do a good job at this. So one of the companies I really like is Thermo Fisher Scientific. So I did a training for them a few years back, and they've really taken this and run with it. They have an awesome LinkedIn page. They're definitely, your boring company. They're very technical, very serious. They produce all this stuff that analyzes, matter. And they have 20 to 55,000 followers at this point. And what are they sharing? That's your there. They're sharing really interesting, serious content. So think of LinkedIn as sort of Facebook for boring companies. Three opportunities: the sharing connection, which is this one; the networking, use your first to get to your seconds; and your public resume opportunity. That's your big opportunity is LinkedIn. There aren't as many great tools for LinkedIn as there are for the other networks.
Okay, let's see. We have a lot of questions. Let's see. Can you go to the website and show us how to, we have a lot of students wanting to sign in and check out the discount.
Oh, that stuff.
Can you show us how to do that? Yeah.
All right, let me show you again. All right, so to get the toolbook, you get the password, which is in the slide on your screen right now, so you want to write that down. We will send out an email tomorrow that will also have the link. So SMM2014. So then you're going to go to our website. So you're going to go to jm-seo.org. You're going to click Course Login. You're going to go to special discount codes. You're going to put your email in here. You're going to put in SMM2014. Hit login. That's going to automatically download the PDF. So then you're going to save the PDF. When you open that PDF up, be sure to go File, Save As, and save it to your desktop. That way you'll have it as your desktop, right? So that's your PDF. To get the discount, same procedure. You're going to put in SMM DISCOUNT. You're going to hit Login. That's going to give you the 25% discount on either our December or February classes. So you're going to be able to get that class for $225 versus $300. So we're going to leave this active until, we'll pretty much leave it active as long as you know the code, but we'll probably cut it off Monday for this next session. So you want to get the boss today, Monday, if you're able to do it, to get that discount, and you want to put that discount, and that's going to get you here. Then you're going to enter your email, your credit card, and off you go. If you have trouble, give us a call. We'll help you out on the phone.
All right, this is a really interesting one. They all are, but this one kind of stands out for me. Can you give any advice on hidden Yelp reviews? We're a legitimate business, and 11 of 12 real reviews are hidden.
Right. Okay, so this is in review marketing. Okay, so what is review marketing about? Review marketing, let's go over here where I'm not signed in. Review marketing is basically, I go to Yelp, I'm looking for something. So I'm looking for CPA firms, San Francisco, California, right? So I'm going to log into Yelp. I'm going to look for a search. I'm going to see, who shows up number one, of course, our client. You're going to click on them, and then here's your review problem. So they have 20 reviews in English. At the bottom, you will often see filtered reviews. Okay, so see these filtered reviews? 9 other reviews that are currently not recommended. Those are filtered. You can click on those and you can find them. Now, what does this mean, filtered? All of your review marketing is driven by reputation. So let's choose somebody up here. So let's look at this guy here. His review is stuck. His review is there. He loved the service. Click on his profile. You've got to think like a computer programmer. You've got to think like the person who programs Yelp. A person who has friends on Yelp, 13 reviews, 1 first, who's active on Yelp, who doesn't always write positive reviews, writes positive and negative, so they have a robust profile. Their review is much more likely to stick than just somebody who's never written a review, the first review they write, and that's it. So that's your first sort of parameter. In general, in review marketing, you need people who have robust profiles to review you. That's sort of the first sort of how it works takeaway. Now let's talk about negative reviews. You got to think like a computer programmer, right? These are not the most socially tactful people, right? So you're writing your program, how do I filter reviews for Yelp? Say somebody writes a negative review, right? What are you sure about? I'm sure it's not a fake review. I'm sure it's not a paid review, because no business is going to pay somebody to write a negative review. So a negative review on Yelp will often stick even if the person who wrote it has a weak profile. The algorithm, unfortunately, is nicer to negative reviews. What's your takeaway as a business? As a business, you have to nurture, cultivate, ask for reviews from your customers and try to get customers who have robust profiles to review you. That's your best strategy. And it's sort of a quantity strategy on Yelp. You've got to keep at it to overwhelm the negative and the filtered out reviews. See right there, that negative, it sticks because negative reviews tend to stick. So there's a lot in review marketing, a lot of nuances there. Quantity, number one, realize that the review systems, Google+, Yelp, etc., they look at profiles. The more robust the profile, the more it sticks. Negative reviews, unfortunately, stick. That's why you got to have a strategy. If you do nothing for review marketing, guess what? Generally, you're going to only get negative reviews. So you have to be proactive in review marketing to succeed.
Okay, let's see. They're scrolling up really fast. Is bit.ly and owl.ly, OW.ly, for the same purpose?
They are. So Owly is used inside of Hootsuite. They're a different URL shortener. I like Bitly a little bit better because Aldi plays this annoying game. When you share an Aldi link, it'll often put an annoying sort of self-promotional ad at the top about using Aldi. So I'm not a big Aldi fan because I think that's annoying, and Bitly doesn't do that, and Bitly is more universal. Bitly has really nice tracking features in it, so you can go and log into your Bitly, and you can look at your stats for sharing, and you can see like what have you produced that's being shared. So you can look at your clicks and you can see what you're doing that's shared. So we use Bitly for everything. It's a little bit of a personal preference. If you like Owly, it's probably fine too. It doesn't really matter.
Is it wise to have personal social media pages as well as business if your main focus is promoting business? And should you mix the two? Is it better to or not
Yeah,
to?
right. So that's a really important question, and it has to do with the architecture. Now, that's where you really got to know your social media, right? So, personal profile, SEO class, right? My personal profile, Jason McDonald as the guru of SEO. Google Plus, the personal profile is really important. Not a lot of people really use Google Plus. Those that do tend to use it really more in a professional sense. So when you look at architecture, Google Plus is actually a lot like LinkedIn at a personal level. So and some of them, Google Plus, LinkedIn, the weight is on the personal profile. So you can certainly use Google Plus to promote your business, and that's also true for LinkedIn because the weight on LinkedIn is also at the personal level. It's like your corporate resume. It's like your personal resume. So in those two in particular, the personal is really important to promote the business. Now, Facebook is totally different. Facebook, at a marketing level, I'd say unless you're maybe an author, realtor, something like that, the emphasis on Facebook is on the business, right? So I personally, connect with my friends and family on Facebook. I don't really market myself as a person on Facebook. That's where you want a corporate page on Facebook. So this is our JM Internet Group page. So again, whenever you're working with social media, you want to look at your whole universe, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., and architect what makes the most sense. And what you find out is there's a lot of diversity. In some of the social media, Google Plus and LinkedIn, for instance, there's a lot of weight and value on the individual profile for marketing. In others like Facebook, there isn't a lot of weight on the individual for marketing. There's a lot of weight on the company page. So you got to architect out which one is the most relevant, and they're not consistent. It varies across the media.
Can Hootsuite be used to manage multiple clients? If not, what is the best way to manage, let's say, 20 social media accounts?
Yeah, so I think that's a good question. I think for that you probably need to go to a paid tool. So surprise, surprise, if you just Google paid social media tools, you'll get an onslaught of tools that are doing that management for you. So Vocus is a tool. I think there's a tool called Raven. Radian6 is another tool. So I would probably have to go to a paid tool if you're managing a bunch of different clients.
Okay, what do you think of Focus for management?
I don't know. So we really focused on free tools. So a lot of the paid tools we're not that familiar with. If it's a free tool and we haven't talked about it, that's not one that comes to mind, just put it in the message box and we'll check it out in our next edition. We're always looking for free tools. They're all over creation. So if you know of any tools that you think are really awesome that are free, definitely submit those and we'll put them in the next edition of the toolbook. It's a labor of love, as Noelle knows, to go research these. She spent hours just researching and looking and filtering. So it's a huge task to find the free tools. Paid tools, we're really focusing on free tools for the toolbook.
Okay. If you have worked with SEO companies in the past, how do you know if what they did didn't blacklist your website?
Right. Okay, so this is more of an SEO question, and we do have an SEO toolbook. That's up on Amazon. You can buy that on Amazon. You can get that by taking our free Top 10 webinar. And I'll just show you, there's a nice little tool in my dashboard. There's a tool for that, for blacklisting. Where is it? It's called this tool. It's called Remove 'em. This tool allows you to put a website in, and you can check and see. So you can put in, a website. I'll put in, I don't know, put in like Academy X, where I teach in San Francisco. You can put a website in here, and it'll help you understand if it's over-optimized. So that's a really good tool here, which gives you some alerts about over-optimization. So that's a way to tell. And then obviously your data reporting. If you got slammed by the Penguin update, believe me, you'll know it, and you would have seen those declines when they rolled out Penguin.
Okay, let's see. I have a heavy competition. How can I use social media without reducing the my price?
Yeah, I'm not really sure I can answer that question, Noelle. I mean, it's all competitive, right? So the thing I think about competition is what I generally find is people think things are more competitive than they really are, and often the game goes to the people who are willing to put the time and effort into it. So sometimes I feel like a gym coach, the people who succeed are the people who have the positive can-do attitude, and they stick with it, and they go systematically. They do their SEO, they do their social media, they do their Facebook, they do their Google+, they make an agenda, they make a plan, they're very systematic. A really wonderful party, it looks effortless, but there's a ton of hard work behind it. So short of just hard work and discipline, I don't really have a magic wand.
Okay, what is the best way to introduce new hashtags? For example, your sales slogan, product name, company name, etc.
Right.
You're starting from scratch.
Sure, right. Really easy. You call Oprah Winfrey on the phone and you say, Oprah, could you please tweet my new hashtag? So the simple way to get a hashtag to be popular is you got to find famous, powerful people to tweet that hashtag, use that hashtag. So, more seriously, right? So you got to find the Oprah Winfreys of your industry. You got to find the Justin Biebers or the Ashton Kutchers of your industry. So whatever industry you're in, you got to find those famous people. So let's try like proteomics and see if it's in here. So this is a very, 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 very focused industry. You're gonna find these famous people. So let's say you're gonna find a new hashtag for, let's say you're a trade show or a marketing magazine, and you want to have a hashtag proteomics world. So you're going to go reach out to these important people in your industry, and you have to be nice to them, you have to schmooze them, you have to figure out nice ways to talk to Dr. Elliot Berlin in proteomics research and get them to use your hashtag. So you've got to get famous people to use the hashtag. You've got to get a reason why other people want to use the hashtag, and that's what makes a hashtag successful. Again, social media is not a prison. You can't force people to use these hashtags. You've got to sort of incentivize them, and we tend to follow the leaders in an industry. So you've got to schmooze up to the leaders.
On Twitter or Facebook, how do you avoid yes it is or no it isn't negative discussions based on people's ignorance of the subject or on brand bias?
Okay, that's back to this whole social media not a prison, right? So you got to think through your negative impact. There was a really funny example. It was a couple months back. Chase Bank went on Twitter, and the knuckleheads in their marketing department said, we're going to have a Twitter discussion about how awesome Chase Bank is. They went on Twitter, and they were just immediately attacked by this huge negative energy because pretty much everybody hates the banks these days. So you can't necessarily control that on social media. It depends on the medium again. On Facebook, you have more control over the discussion. You can kick people off. You can sort of moderate it. You can remove posts. You can do that on YouTube. On Twitter, you don't have that control. So if you're Chase Bank, it really would have been better to have the discussion on Facebook because you can have more control over it than on Twitter where you don't have control. There's no magic bullet other than human psychology for trying to get a discussion to go in the right way. That's what's so fun about marketing is, it's like herding cats. You're trying to get people to move in your direction, but people have their own will. You can't control them.
Okay, in the nonprofit world, if you can only use 2 social media tools due to resources, which 2 would you recommend?
Okay, so limited resources, I would definitely use Hootsuite because Hootsuite is so, you can do so much for free or very, very inexpensively. You can use Hootsuite for, for managing your social media endeavor. So this for a nonprofit is really useful because you could have like different interns. You could give them the password. They don't have the password to your Facebook account, your LinkedIn, etc. So you can give one password to the dashboard. You can have people queue what they're doing. You can manage it, etc. So I would definitely use Hootsuite as a management platform. I really like it. I think it's really the best one there. And then, really kind of the secondary one, you've got to kind of think it through. It really just gets to what you're trying to do. A lot of nonprofits do really well with video, so I would look at some of the video tools in the toolbook. But for management, I think Hootsuite is really an awesome management tool, both the free and the paid version. So that's what I would start with.
Okay, what would you say are the top 3 to 5 social sites for small business trades? For example, plumbers, roofers, small business, independent restaurants, Texas preparers, etc.
Right. So if you're a small business and you're local, okay, this is a prioritization question. So always think like a customer. Let's say you're a plumber, right? So I always say, look at the scenario. So think about how real people use information. So let's say your target is a plumber. You're a local plumber. Okay, so what's the scenario? Oh my God, it's 3 in the morning, the toilet is broken, it's spewing yuck all over the bathroom. I'm not going to go to Facebook. I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to put in, 24/7 plumber, Fremont, California. So Google Plus, which is this guy down here, is probably number 1 for plumber. The other place that people would logically go is some of your other local searches like Yelp. So for a plumber, the prioritization is going to be Google Plus, Yelp. Now, do people go to Twitter? No, not so much. Now, they might go to Facebook. And that gets you to some different angles of marketing. Let me show you a marketing page I really like on Facebook. So dentists, right, same sort of idea. People generally go to dentists. They look at reviews at Yelp if you're looking for it. Now, there's some conversation on Facebook. This is a wonderful example of using Facebook to promote a dentistry practice, right? They have 11,000 likes. Now, they don't have pictures of root canals. They don't have pictures of insurance forms. They don't have pictures of people's weird-looking mouths. They have, look, kids, how fun our dentist is. They have wonderful things of contests and stuff like that. And, oh, yeah, they do want you to make an appointment. So this is an example where obviously Yelp, Google Local are very important for this type of business, but if you think out of the box, you can do some fun things on, say, Facebook. Plumber, it's a little bit more difficult to think that through. So a little bit of out-of-the-box thinking. For most of your local businesses, despite all the hype behind, say, Twitter, Yelp and Google Plus are really sort of where it's at for most local businesses. It depends, though. Twitter does really well for restaurants that offer discounts and coupons, sort of taco trucks, downtown businesses. So you've got to do your inventory. Fish where the fish are. Figure out where people and customers are. Where would they turn for you? Optimize on those social media. Throw the other ones overboard. Don't worry about LinkedIn if it doesn't make sense. Pinterest for plumbers, I don't think so. It's going to vary based on what your business is.
Do you have to pay Yelp to get the top spot, or can it be achieved as a non-paying biz with only reviews? Because you can do both on Yelp.
Right. No, absolutely. You can definitely get to the top of Yelp for free. Yelp puts ads on the pages, but you can definitely get to the top of Yelp by optimizing your listing, getting reviews, all that sort of stuff. That's what's so wonderful about services like Yelp. There's a lot of stuff you can do for free that will really market your company if you know how to set it up, how to optimize it, how to market it. So I have an appointment I've got to get to. Noelle, why don't you wrap us up? Everybody, please get the free toolbook. We'll send out an email tomorrow with the links. Please go tackle your boss. Join our classes next week. They're really, really fun. We have a great time in our social media marketing class. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for attending. Noelle will finish this up here.
Okay, thanks, Jason, for another amazing, informative, and fun online learning experience. You're the best, dear. Now, the first training session in our paid series of social media marketing We'll begin on December 18th with 2 classes taught back-to-back that day, and then continuing on to December 19th for our 3rd and final class. As an extra incentive, if you sign up today, you will receive a special 25% discount, which will be valid actually until Monday, December 16th. So anytime if you sign up between today and December 16th, you'll get that special 25% discount. We also offer classes in SEO and AdWords, and you can check those out by going to our website and clicking on the classes button on the left-hand side of the page. We are happy to answer your questions at any time. You can call us or email us. Our contact info is on the screen. We look forward to working with you all again real soon. In the meantime, have a wonderful day.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful weekend.